Hi, how are we? It sounds far more intimate than what I was expecting it to be. Because, it's this, what is it? Weird hip hop beats. It's not. It's legitimately nothing like that. What the fuck is it? Where are we? It's literally just stream safe music that I've been using for this. But anyway, hi, how are we? I know I've been absent for a couple of weeks. So, I will be nice and I will let you know. The first week I was not here because of depression. It just kind of got to the point where I couldn't, you know. I was having a lot of stuff going on within my brain, and I couldn't get any of it to shut down, and it was causing my body to do things, and that's not fun. The second week, I had a whole bunch of shit. I shouldn't say a whole bunch of shit. I had something planned, and I was kind of focused on that and getting that done and being a little more, excited for that kind of stuff. And so, hold on, we're gonna there. Might be able to pick up the model a bit, my face a little bit better. But anywho's will be. I was planning on doing stuff and going to go do things, and lo and behold, the plans got canceled, and I was a bit sad. So, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I haven't done it for 2 weeks. I need to come in. I need to do stuff for you guys. I don't want you to think that I have abandoned you. I am not like your father who has gone out for cigarettes and not come home. That is not me. That's not what we do around here. But I was laying in bed, watching YouTube, unsure of fully exactly what I wanted to do and talk about, because I had a few thoughts, right? I had a few things. The one thing that I was kind of thinking about talking about was being irrationally angry over something that you looked forward to but had no say in how it ended. Right? That was what happened last week to me. Made plans with a friend, was really excited, getting ready to do everything, and then at the end of literally right before we were supposed to get together and we were supposed to do stuff, come to find out, plans had changed. Unbeknownst to me, and then out of nowhere, I was on my own. And it made me angry. I was unreasonably angry. And I'm fully aware that, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel yourself and express your feelings, especially as a man who was taught for a very long time at a young age that that's not something you do, right? You're not meant to express your feelings and express yourself. And it sucked. So with that being said, I wanted to talk about that because, that's something that I have a lot of, that I've dealt with a lot in life, where I do a lot of things that I like, or I will set up plans to go do things with people or people I enjoy or want to go do something with somebody, even if I don't want to do it, but it's just because I want to spend time with somebody. And then moments before they change plans, and I have on occasion had it been told to me, I found something better to do. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. My second idea that I wanted to talk about was this week on stream, we finished our playthrough of Stellar Blade, right? If you got a chance to watch any of my playthrough of Stellar Blade or heard me chat a little bit about Stellar Blade, I had some real fucking concessions about the game. My main thing with it was, I constantly felt like I was, meant to dance to a tune that none of the musicians knew how to play or even knew what the tune was. And it made combat and playing the game frustrating. One of my favorite ways that I would describe Eve, the antagonist of that game, or not the antagonist, the protagonist, I'm sorry, the protagonist of that game, the character that we experience this world through. I always equated her movements to being similar to that of a wet noodle on a cold day. Now, you might ask yourself, you might sit here and go, Lick, what the fuck does that mean? Right? How can you describe somebody as a wet noodle on a cold day? What does that mean? Give me a picture. To be fair, I think that the metaphor fully encapsulates what I mean by this. But to give you an idea, it felt like I was stiff and rigid, yet slippery and sliding the entire time. And that was not even combat. That was just maneuvering about. And it was frustrating. But, I mean, mechanics-wise, that was my big thing. My second big thing was, let me preface this with, I don't give a fuck what you wear. I don't give a fuck what you do, who you love, any of that fun shit. I'm just going to encapsulate that all in one thing. I don't care. I don't give a shit. As long as you aren't hurting yourself or others and all involved are consenting, right? That's my main thing with this. And some people may think, well, that seems kind of weird that you're accompanying this, that you're encapsulating all of this for what I'm about to say. I thought the outfits that you could unlock and you could find in Stellar Blade were absolutely unnecessary. Some of them, and it's not because they showed skin, it's not because they were sexy or anything. It wasn't any of that shit. And I have equated it to this. If I don't remember which video it was, I want to say it's a video done by Bricky where I think he's talking about the Uncharted series. And he comes up with the term napwis. Nitpick only when I say. And this is mine with Stellar Blade. This is not a problem or issue, I think, for a bunch of people. It's not really even an issue or problem for me. It's just one of those things that I'm just like, but fucking why did it have to be done this way, right? Could have been done a little bit differently. So that's what I'm saying. This is my napwis. This is my nitpick when I say it is a nitpick. But I did not understand why somebody who was predominantly engaged in melee combat, even though that the character was an android and that was meant to be like nanotech or whatever dumb bullshit. But I don't think if you're going to be in melee combat, you need to be in a fucking bikini. That's just me, right? Like, other than that, I don't give a shit. I did think a lot of the outfits, I did think a lot of the art design and the way that the game was presented, art-wise, I thought it was fantastic. That was the one thing that I was just like, do we fucking need this? Like, is this necessary, guys? Come on. Right? But the thing that saved the game for me, besides having a very pretty world and very pretty art and art direction, was the story. To which I will say this. Could have gone off the ground a bit faster. Could have been a bit quicker with everything. But once it hooked you, it had a very good thing that it was talking about. I don't really want to spoil anything if you would like to play this game, because I know that the second game was announced. Sorry, my leg itched. The second game was announced already. I don't know if it was the company who made the game or what has already gotten into a little bit of trouble. with completely using AI to do I think it was like a music video for their newest character, Eevee, I think is their name. To help promote the game. It did not go over well. But they have a really interesting take on, or not even really an interesting take, but an interesting presentation of the ship of Theseus philosophical idea, which is, if you are unaware, the ship of Theseus is, and there's a chance that I am using the wrong name. There is absolutely a chance. The ship of Theseus was a boat that was brought onto land, had to be taken apart to help build other things, and then was cobbled back together using few, if any, of the remaining parts of what was left over of the boat, to then sail forward under the same name, Theseus, right? The ship of Theseus, right? And that hypothesis, or that philosophical idea posits, how much left of something can you have until it becomes a new thing, right? And that was my thing with Stellar Blade, where they posited some really interesting questions involving how much of a human do you need left to be considered a human? Excuse me. And considering the way that everything is presented in that game, it was very interesting, and I liked the way that they played with it, and I thought it was interesting. But my main two things, gameplay-wise, it's rough as fuck. And it was a slog. It frustrated me numerous times. And the boss rush at the end, I kind of almost wanted to just, like, throw my PlayStation through a fucking window. But those were the two things I was thinking about talking about. And you know what? I did kind of talk about them, but I didn't really do the whole thing, right? And some of you might be sitting here, and there's a chance that you have watched my YouTube videos, which if you have, fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's something that I don't expect anybody to ever do. To be fair, I don't expect anybody to show up to anything that I do. But, you know, that's other internal things for me. But with that being said, you may show up to my stream and occasionally you may not see this, right? Hold on. I can't really get like a good me zooming in with the model, but you do notice that I don't have the model, right? And part of that is because I am poor. I have talked about it before, the job that I used to have where the factory I worked at shut down. And I am now in between jobs. In a very terrible time. Especially in the United States. It's a very terrible time to be unemployed. But anyway. So, I stream from my PlayStation. And since we're done with Stellar Blade, we will be changing it. Because I do kind of a 3-2 split, right? 3 days I'm on PlayStation, 2 days I'm on PC. But now, since we're done with Stellar Blade, we're going to start doing a playthrough of Fallout New Vegas. Tuesdays, 7p to 10p Eastern Standard Time, if you're interested. Over at twitch.com/ and it comes in like without the E at the end. If you're interested, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to be doing that on PC with the model, right? So, 2 days, we will now shift from being 3 days on PlayStation, 2 days on PC, to now 2 days on PC, or 2 days on console to 3 days on PC. So it'll be fun, right? But just know it's still me, right? I'm still the one behind the screen, whether or not I have a YouTube, whether or not I have a VTuber model here for you to look at and adore. Speaking of, I have kind of talked about it before. I kind of mentioned that maybe that there were some things that were being worked on. And those things that were being worked on was I'm having a model be worked on. Oh my god. I know. It's crazy. So, I so far only have the art. I do not have the rigging, so I'll need to get the rigging done. But there might be chances where occasionally I might be a PNG tuber. If you're unfamiliar with that, which, to be fair, if you're watching me, or at least the YouTube videos, you should know what a PNG tuber is. But if you don't know, it's literally the same thing, but I can't move. That's it. It's just art of a different character, because this one will be my own character, something I have come up with and brought to life through the hands of an artist. And it'll be very fun. I'm very excited for all that, and it should be a good time and a great time, and I'm super excited for that. But no, like I said, I didn't know what the hell I wanted to talk about, so I guess this is just kind of a roundup, you know, like a hey, this is kind of what I've been doing, you know. Don't ask me why I attempted to try and do like a Sylvester Stallone with that. Listen, to be fair, I've had a headache this entire time. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm dehydrated or what, but goddamn, it's fucking hot in this house. So yeah, no, that's just kind of it. I just kind of wanted to be like, I'm not forgetting you. I'm not giving up on you guys. It's just, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, there's IRL things that we all have to take care of and that we need to do and get done. But also there's those times where sometimes we can't fight as hard as we'd like, and it prevents us from doing things, right? So I didn't want you to think that I had abandoned you, that I completely disappeared, because if you have been watching me on my streams, you'll know that I'm still streaming, I'm still doing stuff, still hanging out, still having a good time, you know, chewing ass, kicking gum, kicking babies, and kissing something. Still doing all that, right? It's just I haven't done this for a minute, so I wanted to stop by, say hi, and make sure that you guys knew that I didn't abandon you. I didn't run away from you. Also, fun little fact. I know that I talked about it a while ago. But I haven't really talked much about like the VTubers and stuff that like I pay attention to and that I watch. And I just kind of have this little funny thing, right? So like a little bit of background. I'm 31. I grew up in a very conservative area of Western Ohio. I still live in a very conservative area of Western Ohio. And I was always kind of one of the oddballs, right? Because, you know, I liked science fiction. I liked anime. I played video games. Even still at like the early 2000s, late 90s and stuff, as I was mainly the early 2000s when I was a child, because shit, 9/11, I was 6 years old. Anyway, enough about that. Just give you a little bit of background. That's kind of where we were. Kind of where I was, right? My mom was very, I don't really want to say straight laced, but kind of, sort of, almost, maybe. But anywho's I had a big clusterfuck and kerfuffle of trying to get a couple of plushies from someplace for Fuomoko. If you don't know who they are, it is the twin streamers Fuomoko of Hololive English. I want to say Advent, because it's not Justice. That's the one. Justice is with Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame, I do believe. But it's a group, if you don't know. It is the grouping of people who all debuted and started at the same time. And you have the wonderful Fuwawa, who is not a Chihuahua, and then the wonderful Mokoko, who is not Fuwawa, but together they are Fuomoko. I bought plushies of them because they're my favorite Hololive gals, and I wanted some merch, you know. It was a whole fucking thing because they're coming out of Japan, and I, like, by the end of it, it cost me probably like almost It cost me almost $250 to get them because the company I was buying them from were being a bunch of cocksuckers. But I got them, and I'm very happy with them, and they're sitting next to me, and they're adorable, and I love them. So I got them, and I happened to message my mom, and I took a picture of them because I told her like what was going on. I was like, oh yeah, so that way you know what I'm talking about. I took a picture of them, and I sent them to my mom, and they're decent sized plushies. Like, I'd say they're like a little bit taller than like my hand if you stretched it from tip of thumb to tip of pinky, and like you're just stretching your hand out. I want to say that's about a little over 6 inches, maybe about 8. I think that's about how big that is. I have kind of tiny hands for a dude, so it might be there. I don't know. Fuck it. But anyway, they're decently big. And I was telling my mom about it because she's a seamstress and she does a lot of crafting and stuff. And so I was like, you might be kind of excited and want to know a little bit about the construction of these guys. I took the picture of them and I sent it to my mom. And her first response was, so you're playing with dolls now? And I was just like, Mom, they're plushies. They're sitting there to just like observe. That's it. They're there to be observed and to be loved. No, I'm not playing with dolls. I was just like, God damn it, Mom. But I figured y'all would get a little kick out of that because, you know, I'm sure some of you have moments like that with your own parents or family members or potentially friends, right? With being into a not so popular, well-known, or sometimes even understood fandom, community, any of that kind of stuff, right? But no, that's my as SNL would put it, that's my little weekend update. Even though we still have a decent amount of time before the weekend, I wanted to stop by. I want to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. You specifically, the person watching this video, I'm thinking about you, random citizen. But I didn't want you guys to feel left out. I didn't want you to think that I'd given up on you. So I wanted to do this, a fun little update. Next week, when we do this again, I don't know. We'll talk about pugs or something. I haven't figured it out. We'll figure something out. We'll get it sorted. I could definitely tell that I need to blow my nose. God, my nostrils feel just like full, and I feel very nasally as I'm talking. So anyway, I think we're just gonna end it there, and I hope you guys had a really good time. I know I had fun. It was enjoyable. We need to do this more often. If you want to do this live, you're more than welcome to come over Monday through Wednesday, Friday through Saturday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. EST. Sometimes we go a little bit longer. It depends on what's going on. Over at twitch.com/and it comes in like minus the E at the end. If you want to know as in when I stream, I was turned a little bit too far to the side. Camera didn't pick up my mouth as I was moving it. If you just kind of want to know, like, if I will be streaming, if things have changed, what we will be doing, or if you just want to potentially watch me make a fool of myself on the internet, trying to be friends with other VTubers and other content creators and that shit, go to Twitter. Fuck you, I'm never calling it X. Get fucked, Elon Musk. It's twitter.com/@ and it comes in like minus the E at the end. Come hang out. Not on Twitter, on Twitch. So it'll be a fun time. All right. I don't really know how to do this or end this. I'm not really good at goodbyes.